Everyone tells us that if we want peace of mind, we need to escape the noise of life, travel somewhere quiet, meditate for hours, or disconnect from everything around us. But what if that advice is only part of the truth? What if the real secret to peace is not about running away from the world, but learning how to move through it without letting it disturb your mind? Think about your own life for a moment. How often does your mind wander from one thought to another, replaying something that happened yesterday, worrying about something that might happen tomorrow? Before you realize it, the entire day passes, and your mind never truly rests. But what if calming the mind was actually much simpler than we think? Today's story is about a restless young man, a wise mentor, and a simple lesson that reveals one of the most powerful truths about the human mind. And by the end of this story, you might begin to look at your own thoughts in a very different way. In a small village surrounded by mountains lived a young man named Daichi. Daichi was only 25 years old, but his mind felt older than his years. It was always full of thoughts, endless thoughts that never seemed to stop. From the moment he woke up in the morning until late at night, his mind kept racing. Sometimes he replayed moments from the past again and again. He would think about things he should have said, decisions he wished he had made differently, and mistakes he wished he could erase. And when his mind wasn't stuck in the past, it was worrying about the future. What if things don't work out? What if I fail? What if everything goes wrong? Day after day, this storm of thoughts continued. Daichi became tired, not from physical work, but from thinking too much. He couldn't sleep peacefully. He struggled to enjoy the present moment. Even when something good happened, his mind quickly jumped to another worry. One evening, while sitting outside a small tea shop, Daichi overheard travelers talking about a wise old man who lived in a distant village in the hills. They said this man had once been a respected psychologist in a big city. For many years, he helped people understand their thoughts and emotions. But later in life, he left the busy city behind and chose to live a simple life in nature. Something about this story stayed in Daichi's mind. That night, he thought to himself, maybe this man knows something that could help me. So Daichi made a decision. He packed a small bag and began the long journey toward the hills. After days of walking along dusty roads and narrow mountain paths, he finally reached the peaceful village. At the edge of the village stood a small house covered in green vines. On the porch sat the old man, calm and still. His name was Master Kenzo. Daichi approached him respectfully and said, "Master, my mind never stops thinking. I feel restless all the time. I want peace. Can you help me?" Master Kenzo slowly opened his eyes and smiled. Then he stood up and said, "Come with me." He led Daichi to the yard and filled a glass with water right to the very top. The water was so full that even the slightest movement could cause it to spill. He handed the glass to Daichi and said, "Walk to the edge of the village and come back, but you must not spill a single drop of water." Daichi accepted the challenge. He held the glass carefully and began walking through the village. The streets were busy. Children were playing. Shopkeepers were calling customers. Dogs were barking. But Daichi barely noticed any of it. His eyes stayed focused only on the glass. Step by step, slowly and carefully, he walked. Finally, he returned to Master Kenzo with a smile. "Master, I did it. Not a single drop spilled." Master Kenzo nodded and asked a simple question. "Tell me, did you see the children playing along the road?" Daichi shook his head. "No." "Did you hear the dogs barking?" Again, Daichi replied, "No, I didn't hear anything." Master Kenzo smiled gently and said, That is the secret you were searching for. When your mind focused completely on the glass, there was no space for unnecessary thoughts. You were not thinking about the past, and you were not worrying about the future. For those few moments, your mind was quiet. Then the old man spoke words Daichi would never forget. Peace does not come from outside the world. It comes when your mind learns to stay in the present moment. When you give your full attention to what is in front of you, the noise inside your head begins to disappear. In that moment, Daichi finally understood. Peace had never been far away. He simply needed to learn how to live in the present. Many of us live our lives trapped between two places that don't even exist anymore, the past and the future. But life only happens in one place, right here, right now. And when we learn to bring our attention back to the present moment, something beautiful happens. The mind becomes lighter, the heart becomes calmer, and we begin to discover the peace that was always inside us. If this story made you pause and reflect, take a moment today to slow down, breathe deeply, and simply notice the present moment. And if you enjoy thoughtful stories that inspire mindfulness and personal growth, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who might need this message today, and subscribe to our channel, Elevate and Reflect, for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Until the next story, stay mindful, stay curious, and keep reflecting.